Hello, and thank you for watching. This is Jackson Bleachers, and this is our every week we're going to do best bets of the weekend for college football. And week one, last week was week zero. There were a couple games, not really anything to look at in terms of odds, but this is week one, so it really gets kicked off this week. As always, as every year, week one is a little bit on the risky side because there's no recent on the field evidence to back up your bets. But I mean, it's still fun to try. And also, as always, there's no guarantee when it's betting on sports, but that's what makes it fun. Before we get started, I want to just say that these picks are just for fun and are not intended for anything illegal. But for today, I got 3 picks for us, and then an extra bonus pick too that I'll explain a little more in a minute. So the first game is I like Western Kentucky plus 34.5 at Wisconsin. This game is Friday night. It will open the season for both teams. The Toppers will travel to Camp Randall, where Wisconsin is number 4 in the nation, and they have maybe the favorite to win the Heisman, definitely one of the favorites early on before the season starts, in Jonathan Taylor at running back. Wisconsin's without a doubt one of the best teams in the entire nation, but they will be without 2 key wide receivers Friday night. Quintez Cephas and Danny Davis are both suspended. So Jonathan Taylor's going to have to step up. The rest of the offense is going to have to step up, which they should have no problem. I mean, they're playing Western Kentucky. Wisconsin's really good. Western Kentucky's okay. But Western Kentucky's been a force in the Conference USA lately. And before Lane Kiffin took over at Florida Atlantic, the Hilltoppers had been perennial favorites to win the conference. And Western got off to a good start last season, but they kind of fizzled down the stretch. They cooled off considerably. And even with a less than exceptional finish to last year, they did pick up a bowl win to end the season. Again, I think Wisconsin will win the game easily, but a 34.5 spread, that's tough. Western is not a bad team. They're a pretty good group of 5 school, and you add on top of that, it's the first game of the season with 2 of your best players out. That means I think Western Kentucky will keep it within the 34.5 needed. So I'm on Western Kentucky plus 34.5 there. The second game is Central Michigan plus 17 at Kentucky. Wildcats will be the home team. Central Michigan's out of the MAC. Kentucky obviously out of the SEC. This is I believe it's a 2:30, but maybe a 3 o'clock Central Time game on Saturday. The Chippewas were 8-5 last year, and they finished second in the West Division of the MAC. Kentucky last year ended up being 7-6, but they started off 5-1. And honestly, if they get 2 more points at Florida, they lost to Florida on the road by 1. They're 2 points away from being 6-0. But as they followed their trend of the last few years, as the schedule tightened up down the stretch, they tightened up too, and that's why they went from 5-1, almost 6-0, to finishing 7-6, including some blowout losses to Louisville, Georgia, and Mississippi State, and they lost their bowl game real close to, I think it was Northwestern last year. Central Michigan is a very respectable group of 5 team, pretty good team out of the MAC. They are catching more than 2 touchdowns on the road at Kentucky. Central Michigan is 5-1 against the spread in its last 6 games, or 5-1 against the spread in its last 6 games overall, and 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 road games. I think they'll cover easy, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Chippewas pull off the upset, and I definitely expect them to have a chance at least down the stretch. The last game, Arizona minus 11.5. They are 11.5 point favorites in the desert against BYU. This is the big game, the late window. I think it's either at 9:30 or 9:45 kickoff Central Time, and this will be Kevin Sumlin's first game with the Wildcats, and I really, really, really like this matchup for Arizona. Arizona started the 2017 season well, like Kentucky, but the wheels came off quickly, and that led to the firing of Rich Rodriguez, which is why Kevin Sumlin is here. And Kevin Sumlin has a proven track record with quarterbacks. I mean, he had Case Keenum at Houston. He had Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M, and now he's got, I think, maybe the most exciting player in all college football, and my early favorite to win the Heisman, Khalil Tate. Tate's a sophomore, and if I had to bet right now, I'd bet on him winning the Heisman. He can beat anybody through the air or on the ground, and you can bet he'll be causing headaches for BYU all night long. Speaking of BYU, they are coming off their worst season in years, and I know Taylor Mangum is healthy again, or Tanner Mangum, that is healthy again, but it will not be enough to beat Arizona on Saturday. And I'm very confident that BYU will be better than last season, mainly because it's not really possible to be any worse than they were. But it's going to take some time, and it's not going to show on Saturday, I don't think. I think Khalil Tate by himself would be enough for Arizona to cover the 11.5, and I'm expecting 21-plus point win for the Wildcats. And assuming that Khalil Tate can stay healthy all season, Arizona's going to be a team I'm going to watch all year just because they're fun to watch. Khalil Tate's awesome, and I think they're gonna be a favorite of mine all year. The bonus pick, I have a bonus pick this time. I'm not completely confident enough in it that I would turn it in or whatever, but Kent State plus 16 at Illinois is extremely tempting. I mean, anytime you see Illinois as a 16-point favorite, it's just like they're asking for you to bet against them. But I just don't know if I can trust Kent State enough to pull the trigger there. I mean, both teams are an abomination to football, but Illinois is a 16-point favorite. That's just it's not right. It just does not look right. Both teams last year were 2-10 overall and 4-8 against the spread, so something's got to give there. Lovie Smith is entering his second season as the head coach in Champaign, which I think they'll be better. I mean, 2-10, it's hard not to be better. And Kent State, they have the youngest coach in the country with Sean Lewis. I believe he is 31. I definitely don't expect the Golden Flashes to pull off the upset outright, but covering the 16-point spread is definitely within the realm of possibility. You got to be feeling gutsy for this one just because you don't know. Both these teams are terrible, but if you are feeling extra lucky this weekend, Kent State plus 16 is definitely something worth watching. So those are the three and a bonus pick for me this week. Again, this is just for fun. It's not meant for anything illegal. But yeah, this is just for fun. And hopefully they do good. Hopefully these picks play out. And we will have another video before week 2. Thank you for watching. And for more information, go to www.jacksonbleachers.com.